Good morning. On today's video we are going to work on camera control. So let's get started. First, what I want to do is to create empty object, and that empty object, let's reset it transform, and let's make this new object parent of our main camera. So let's name it camera. Okay. Why we do it is that when I was trying before to use main camera and script to follow the player and to attach some animations like shake and any others, they were like not working correctly together with the script. So it's better to make container for the camera, and we'll move our container for our main camera. So that works much better. So let's create new C# script. Let's call it camera control. And let's attach it to our camera container. Okay, so let's get to the Visual Studio. What we want to do today is to follow player without any rotation. So we could do it the simple way. I'll show you. So we could just take public transform. That will be a reference for our player, and we could just create transform. So this is the transfer of our current camera container, and we could just make it equal to new vector 3 of our the player position. So player post dot x dot y and dot z. So that would follow our player. Just transfer that position. Dot x. So let's fix it. So if we just move our player here to our reference and we press play, as you can see here, it works fine. But we want a little bit different behavior than that. So let's change our script. And what we want to do is smooth movement of our camera. I want the camera to be floating after player. I will show you the effect during the coding. So let's create two new values. Smooth value. If we change this value, we'll change how stiff our camera will be, or how stiff our camera will follow the player. This will be our vector. We'll calculate. So it's hard to code and talk in the same time. Let's make this one private. So now let's comment that out for now. Let's create a function. And inside this function, we create our code to follow our player. So what we want to create is vector 3 desired position. So this will be the position where we want our camera to move. So this will be new 3 player pose dot position. Actually, we can copy this one. So it's the same as before. This is our desired position. So that's the position where we want to get, but we want to use function to make our movement smooth. So just create a variable vector3 smooth pose. Our smooth position will be vector3 dot lerp, and the lerp is the function, as you can see here. We'll use vector A, vector B, so we'll get from vector A to vector B with force of our floating t, or with the speed of our floating t. So how it will work? So this is the transfer of our camera, which we provide here. Transfer position and our desired position. This is the position. This is our current position of our camera. This is position where we move to, and this smooth value multiplied by time delta time will be our speed, how fast we'll be moving to our desired camera position from our transform position. So this is how fast we'll move our camera to our player. Yeah, and that's the speed, as I said. Okay. So what we need to do is now just make transform that position equal to position. What is that? Why we need to make that sentence? Because this value is the value we calculate here. So this value will be calculated. This is vector, like this smooth value is the vector between those two vectors. So we'll be moving from that transform position to our desired camera position by this speed, but all the steps between is that our smooth pose vector. Okay, so now let's delete this previous line, and let's write follow layer. Okay, what we should create here is late update, because we want to update our camera position on the end of the frame. But what I have found that it's work a little bit strange with the rigid body. I will show you. I'm moving, and sometimes I'm receiving the shakes here. Okay, first let's fix the camera position. Let's make it 0, 0. Okay, so now you can see how smooth the camera moves after our player. And you see that shakes. I hope you can see it on the video. And you can, okay. So to fix that shakes on our player, we just need to change that one to fixed update. I don't know why. I just tested and it worked. So that's strange for me. I couldn't find an explanation why that should be like that, but it works after my test. So let's get back to Unity, and I will show you the effect. So you can see now we don't receive any shaking on our player. Maybe it's because the rigid body is calculated. That's my idea. And the rigid body is calculated in the fixed times that you are moving rigid body, so maybe it shakes between the frames. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, let's. I will show you also how the smooth factor works. So if we go to our camera and let's make our smooth value 0.1, and when we move, you can see how slow camera goes. So back focused on our player. So for example, if you make it 10, this is how fast we move. This is almost stiff movement. So I think the best will be 2. This is how I like to have. Okay. What we have here is the end of our screen, and we don't want our camera to be able to move out of our screen. So for that, we can clamp our transform value between values. We can just check by, let's take our camera and let's just move it. So this frame is what your camera can see. So we can just test our camera. Like we can say we don't want to move below, for example, y means y. No, let's make it 0, 0. So this is the lowest value, and let's say we want to move to 10 and 10 on the x and y. This is the transfer values we'll clamp to. So when you move the camera, this is what will be visible on the camera. So if you can just move it and check the values which you want to achieve. I want it to be able to move in the x and from 0 to 10. In y from 0 to 10, and in the x direction from the 0 to 10 also. Okay, so what we just need to do is just go to our script and just make our smooth pose. Smooth pose, yeah, it's here. Smooth pose.x equal to mat.f.clamp smooth position.x, and let's clamp it from 0 to 10. And the same we'll do for our y direction. Okay. The clamp function works that you put the value here, what value you want to clamp, so it's our smooth position in x. So this one for this transform position, and we just clamp it between 0 and 10. Okay, so now if we'll go to the play mode, camera should move to our player. Yeah, it's moving, and as you can see here, if we move to the left, yeah, it's blocked, so camera will not move farther. So I think that's what we want to achieve. Yeah, I know that's what I want to achieve. So here you can move, as you can see here. I think it's very good movement of the camera. One more thing, because you can see that our player can move outside of our camera reach. That's unwanted behavior, because that way we don't see what's happening with our player. So I don't want to have that, and to fix that we also need to clamp player controller values. So let's get doing that. We need to get our move function. Yeah, it's here. So now to clamp our move, we'll need to create new vector 2 with move direction. So let's do it now. And it will be equal, let's remove move direction, and it will be equal to our current rigid body position. It will be actually equal to that what we just created before. And now we can just replace it here. But to clamp that values, we just need to work with move direction X and Y, similar as we just did with our camera. Yeah, move direction.x, and the values I would like to check just from the Unity. Let's go to our player, and we want to allow our player to move to minus in Y direction to minus 5.5. Let's allow it to move to somewhere here. So let's allow it to move to the 11 or 12. Yeah, let's allow it to move to 12. So minus 5.5 and minus 6.5. Let's make it minus 6.5. So 6.5. Sorry, I just checked not X but Y. So let's make it 10 here. You can write your own values here. So it depends how big is your map and where you want to have your borders. And it was y minus 5.5 and let's make it 11 here. And don't forget to put the F. This means that we this is casted as float value. Why we need to do that? Because default value for C# is double. So yeah, we just need to change, cast it as float for our vector2. Okay. Oh, sorry, for the translator to understand what we want to do. Not exactly for our vector2. Okay, so now let's test how our movement script is working. Let's move our players over here. And after testing, yeah, okay, so I'm moving to the edge and I can't move further to the left. And the bottom, I made too big movement. Let's make it minus 5. Okay, just a quick fix. Okay, now we can see our players there. So it's not moving outside of our screen. So yeah, that's what we want. Nice. Okay, so for the camera movement, it's almost all. I just want to add the animation for our shake when we shoot our bullet. So to create that, just be sure to mark this main camera under our container for our camera. If you do it on this level, this will not work. So that's why we created a container. So now let's go to the animator. And this is our zombie animator. So let's create new animation. Sorry. Let's go and add component animator to our camera. And let's create new animation. Our assets, animation. Let's call it camera shake. Okay. And just go to the record and let's go to our scene. I want camera to be shaked to the left and back to the position from where we moved. So let's do it. Let's do something like on the 0.2 seconds. Let's move it to the left by 1.2 and let's move it back to 0 here. Okay, so this is how our shake will look like. And let's go to our animator, this camera shake. So let's make default idle state. And let's make it default. I will zoom in maybe for the video purpose. So from the idle we want to make transition, and from the camera shake we want to go back to the idle. The idle, it will means that we will not playing any animation. Here we need to make trigger shake, and that transition will be called when we want to shake our camera. On the transition, let's make sure that we are not having exit time here, and transition time is 0, so it will be instantly shaken. And we want to play full animation, so we want to have exit time equal to 1, so it means it will play 100% of the animation. And let's make transition duration 0. Okay, so now if we just set trigger shake from our shooting script, it will work fine. We are shooting on our player controller, so we don't have it opened. Ah yeah, we have it opened. So when we shoot, we want to set trigger for our animation. So to call it, we have our animation attached to our main camera, so we can call it writing camera.main, and we can get component animator dot set trigger dot shake. So not dot, but making the parentheses. Okay, so now all the time we press shoot button, which is left mouse button, our camera will shake. But we want to wait for our weapon cooldown. So to wait for a weapon cooldown, just write if weapon dot next shot. We are referencing our weapon from our player script, so it's easy to call it. We don't need to make any more unnecessary references. So let's go for our weapon dot next shot. Okay, where is our weapon? And our next shot time is not public, so to get access to it, let's make it public. That next shot time is less or equal to time we want to make shake of our camera, because we also will call our shoot function. So to test how it works, let's go to our Unity, let's play. Yeah, and we have shake when we shoot. If you don't like the effect, you can put some more work on the effect of our shake when we're shooting. especially when we move. Not everybody might like it, but that's how you want to make it work. So that's all for today's video. So thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Please don't forget to subscribe and put the thumb up. Thank you.